Living here in Anchorage, I've developed a different sense of communication, which I was unaware of until I was invited to a cultural camp by my cousins from Northway. We traveled. I drove up to Tok, then on to Northway. Then from there we had to take a boat downriver, and I asked, how far is it? They said, oh, just around the corner. We're sitting on this boat for an hour. I'm going, boy, that's a long corner. So we eventually got to 10 Mile. It was where my dad grew up. I've often heard of this place, but really never set foot here on this camping area. And my dad was quite pleased that I did go back to his home country where he grew up. We fished here. I learned to make baskets and learned to do caribou tufting here at this culture camp. I was invited to do storytelling. So in my Anchorage way, when I am invited to tell stories, they say, be there at 1:30. You have it half an hour. Well, here at the culture camp, I said, when's story time? Aunties won't answer me, and they'd say, oh, in a little bit. Well, I have to take the final boat home, you know. Oh, you'll have time. You'll have time. Just go and do some of the crafts and stuff. We'll have time. So their time was not regimented like how I'm used to here in Anchorage. So being like a little kid, then I thought, wow, I must be really annoying to my auntie, asking her to say, when, how. And she got very irritated with me. She said, sit down and make a basket, she said. So I did. But eventually the kids all sat on this mat and they said, we're ready. And I said, do you want me in full regalia? Yeah, that's what you're here for. So I went to the cabin, changed, and came out, and the little kids were going, ooh. And I said, a long time ago, when aunties used to tell stories, we did interrupt. We didn't say, oh, how come? Why? In Anchorage, when I tell stories, the cultural stories, if the kids weren't listening, I would get up, pack up my stuff, and leave. Here, I can't. I traveled all the way out here by boat, so I couldn't leave when I wanted to if they weren't listening. So I devised a new thing. I said, okay, a long time ago, when my grandmother was telling stories and stuff, she would say, we'd have to be quiet. And if we weren't listening, then we'd have to go home. Since we're not at home, I said, each of you have a tent, huh? I will send you to your tent if you weren't listening. So that was kind of neat. But they all listened and wanted some more. So I shared 3 or 4 stories with them, and they sat through all of the stories. And then they wanted to know how I grew up and how come I was their auntie or their cousin. And I explained the clanship system to them, and which they devoured and just wanted more and more. So this experience showed me that although I'm Athabascan, from the same region, the timetables are different. I'm going by the clock, and they're not. So I had to adjust to their time and just kind of live on their timeline, and which was quite interesting to me. I thought that was really neat. Sunny, thank you.